Hello, hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's a hot day out today, here in New York City. Niku, hello. ODM, Funky, Abstraction, OSOX, OSOX. Tanuki, good afternoon. Mr. Kupo asking for the funky music. Hubert, hello. Mr. Kupo, if people didn't know, he moved from the land of cowboys to the land of goats, apparently. From Albania now, supposedly. Mr. Nephlock, hello. I shall hydrate. Harry Smallwood, hello. Watch a full Lincoln worth of ads. Uter, hello. Conan, J. Ridgy, Clogbob, Jurapika, hello. Oh wait, Albania. Confuse the A countries. Tell me another country with A, Mr. Kupo. Early-ish stream? Yeah, sort of early. For me, it's like mid-afternoon. It's like 4 p.m. over here. I haven't spoken to anyone in 3 weeks. There's no way you haven't spoken to anyone in 3 weeks, Mr. Kupo. I know what you do, and what you do literally requires you to speak to people like every day. I assume. Unless you do different things. Now. Funky, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Look at all these people cheating and telling Kupo the answers. SMH. I can't do it in Argentina where I am now? Okay, alright. Anyway, good to see you all. Fun build today. I've been kind of looking forward to this. So let's get started. Alright, so today we are building the classic TKL. So if you've been living under a rock for the past month, or maybe, I don't know when they first showed, I guess they first showed it at a meetup. But there is going to be a new injection mold keyboard released by NovelKeys. This is a design by Mr. Riley Nephlock, who is the creative director over at NovelKeys, and this is kind of like a big team effort over there, and they've made this new injection molded board called the Classic TKL. You could call it just the Classic or Classic TKL, however you want to call it, but it comes in this nice box. This, all of this just came in this big, NovelKeys box, right? I just took it out of that. And we got a few switch plates over here, which I believe Mr. Alex actually built one of these for the launch edition, and I got a few switch plates over here. Anyway, so the Classic TKL is a new injection molded board here. It's going to launch at a price of $89 US for the starting price, and as you can see, it looks just like that. We will take it out of the box to kind of show. And oh, Mr. Piggion, hello. How's it going? Thank you so much for the Prime. And you've been busy with what's life like these days, Mr. Bay? Anyway, so the Classic TKL, as you can see, draws some inspiration from some boards that you might already recognize. I think the first keyboard that comes to mind as soon as I see this box, right, is the Real Force. Yes, so the Real Force, the first version of Real Force, looks kind of like this. It has a larger forehead at the top. This has some other different things, obviously. I mean, you'll get to see the sides and the bottom and everything. But the real force is very clear inspiration over here. At least, you know, when I see it, I think, wow, that looks like the real force. Except this is MX compatible. It's not Topre. And, you know, it's been designed such a way that it's, you know, injection molded. And so it was designed by Mr. Nephlock, produced through NovelKeys, and the internal electronics by Mr. Yankar from the UK. And so this is what the box looks like. The box, as you can see, we have a based black unit over here, but very nice. You can obviously tell that this kind of draws inspiration from the IBM logo. If you don't know, if you haven't been around long enough on this earth to know what IBM did to the world of retro, I guess now we'll consider retro computing, but to the world of computing, a lot of computing thanks to IBM, right? And so you can see some of the inspirations drawn from that too. Pretty cool. Like it draws in a lot of these sort of like classic computing elements, and of course from the keyboard world, the design elements from different boards out there, from OEM to customs. And we got this wonderful $89 kit, and so I'm pretty excited to build it. And so I'm opening this box. Box opens with, you know, these flaps over here. You can see there is some coated tape over here, which you can actually use to seal the box if you want it. I'm not sure if the box would come unsealed like this, but and then we first have our tools and accessories kit, which has the hardwares, the gaskets, and I believe a USB cable and whatnot. So let's just take all that out. Topre a bit too niche for us, and for yes, of course, and the investment into injection molding, yeah. So I think that electrocapacitive and Topre in general is a difficult market to break into for several reasons. I mean, first of all, Topre is technically proprietary. Obviously, we now have custom electrocapacitive stuff, like with third-party domes, with third-party springs, and sliders and PCBs and everything. But it's honestly at its, I would argue very strongly that it's at its very preliminary stage, like custom electrocapacitive stuff. And so it would be a while until we see like very big diversification in that space. I think it'll take a while, sort of like you need to develop a little bit more like the MX space. And so I think they would make sense not to go into electrocapacitive right away. It's a little harder market to break into. If you consider this like statistics, even in like among enthusiasts, I would say maybe 1 in 5 people will mention Topre as something they like, but a lot of people don't like Topre as well. And also, of course, like the amount of switches out there for Cherry Mix is staggeringly large compared to the amount of variety you get in Topre. In Topre, you don't even have linear technically. You just have these domes that are essentially tactiles. So anyway, so we first have our Geon play fork. As you can see, comes in a nice yellow. Then we got a Torx key. Do you see this? No. Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that before. And then we got little gasket socks. Ooh, this is neat. They come connected. That's kind of cool. So harder to lose. We got some extra screws over here. Maybe extra, maybe separate. But we got some screws. I'll actually put that onto a tray. Ooh. All right. Put that onto a tray for now. I don't need a key since I do have screwdrivers for Torx, but if you happen to need the Allen key, there's one right there. And then it also comes with a rubberized cable. That's kind of cool. It's not paracord, it's rubberized, and so it comes tied up with this cable tie. So nice cable tie. So, ooh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Look at this cable. So very nice USB-C to A type cable with this nice kind of like end over here. Has like nice little details to the ends, like these lines and whatnot. But super nice cable here. It's rubberized, so it's kind of like a straight cable, right? But it has a lot of flexibility, so you can use it however. This seems pretty long. I would say this is about my wingspan, from like arm to arm, and so pretty long cable over here. This is pretty nice. I would say this cable is definitely worth keeping around. If you happen to maybe want it to take into the office or something like that. I don't know if you work in an office, but sometimes it's nice to have spare cables like that. Alright, so now let's get our case. On my way to eat a salad. Hoping they do a run of these in the smoke translucent black colorway at some point, maybe with Dolce Blue accent silicone bottom. That could be cool. I did tune in to Alex's stream for a little bit, and I just recall a comment. I think it was that Nephlock, Riley was looking into opaque colorways as well, like a nice neutral gray, if I recall correctly. Of course, there's the options to do like for injection mold. You of course have the option to do translucent pieces as well. And I think that's kind of been the avenue of a lot of injection molded stuff, is that you go from like you know, you go to injection mold and you think, oh, translucent plastics are possible, and so you go for that right away. I think that's kind of been the trend in a lot of the injection molded stuff out there. Like I think the first colorways are always going to be like translucent, kind of like the Bauer Light was like that, the Cara was like that. And you know, there's probably other examples. Obviously, like you have like the more the clear version here, the clear frosted version, which is the launch edition. And here we have the base black right here. So okay, let me try to put it up close. So we have an LED strip over here. This kind of reminds me a lot of the 1.20G from Matrix Lab. And as you can see, this is per key LEDs. Looks like it's fixed. Let's see, fixed 7U. So fixed 7U bottom row, and ANSI. So you have ANSI for everything else. You have the option to do step caps lock and regular. That's nice. No split backspace or anything like that. So bottom row is fixed. Here by default we have our polycarb plate, and then yeah, per key LEDs for everything. The badge looks pretty nice. Classic TKL. Got it in, I guess that's like silver, and sorry about that. Sorry for the bump here. In silver and with a red accent on the classic lettering. And this is the bottom. Bottom has this silicone piece covering it. Has like this sort of like semicircular pattern on it. It says classic TKL on one side, NovelKeys on the other. And the USB port is indeed on the traditional A87, B80, actually I guess B87 position, which is the in between the nav cluster and the main cluster. Very based port positioning, at least for a lot of the TKL enthusiasts out there. They really like it here. I know that there's people who really prefer a centered USB port. I'm personally an advocate for this position more so than the center. I like it. I like 60% with center. I like you know, other boards with center, but I think for TKL in particular, this port positioning is quite nice. So USB-C daughter board, as you can see though, and it sort of has like that island top kind of design where there is a middle portion, sort of like the key code number 1, where basically there is a middle portion here that kind of sinks onto the base, and then there is a wider top, sort of like widens out like that. In many of those cases, you see the port being at the center, but in this case, they chose it to be on the right side. So pretty nice design-wise. I like central USB fits on island like the #1. I said that before, but I mean, I do tend to think that that kind of choice tends to be more common in those designs than not, because, for example, if this like island-like design were to be smaller, or rather shorter, then you end up with not enough space to put actually a port here. Like it would end up awkwardly over here, something like that. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what the board looks like. If you want to look at a side profile, come on, focus. So you can see the seam over there, and then you got like a shelf over here, goes right on to the end. You can see a little bit of a curve over here at the end, and then a very nice smooth curve kind of leading from the island to the main part of the shelf. And if you notice, the front lip, the front portion is a little tapered, not quite a cherry lip, but it definitely has a taper of a few millimeters. Maybe it goes like half a centimeter. So about half a centimeter height difference from one to the other, but it's a pretty comfortable front height. And then we also have a typing angle of about, I think this is, if I recall correctly, this is 5 degrees. But yeah, it's a pretty low typing angle, so if you're not into low typing angle boards, maybe this won't suit you. But there's a lot of OEM boards that are about this much typing angle, and there's also quite a few boards out there that are also low typing angle like this. I do recognize that a lot of people do prefer higher ones for aesthetics, but I do think for a board like this actually suits it pretty well. Kind of similar to a Real Force, I suppose. Alright, so let's proceed. I'm gonna put this aside for now. Play fork, maybe I'll just put it aside, might use it in a bit. We haven't talked about plate options and switch options, and that's because I got a bunch of options that you guys can pick. So I'll go ahead and take out some of the available plates. So today we have the polycarb plate, we have a brass plate, we have I think this is silver, I'm not sure, silver aluminum plate, and a copper plate. So we have a few plate options. So I'm actually gonna just lay them out over here. Let's actually take it out of the bags. Doesn't quite open up easily. Okay, I'll just rip it off. So this is copper. This is... So as I said on my Discord announcement, I said there are a few classic options as well as not as classic options. So I'll just... Oh my gosh, this bag. It's just getting stuck on the tabs. Okay, I'll just rip it out. Alright, there we go. We have silver aluminum plate over here. And then lastly, we got our brass plate. So brass plate, similar to copper, as you know. Brass is an alloy of copper. And so they tend to have pretty similar properties, slightly different coloring. But yeah, you have copper, alu, brass, and then polycarbonate right now on the keyboard itself. And now, let's go ahead and talk about switch options. I actually have a few switch options. So I'll actually just write them down because it's easier than you just seeing them all. So let me see. So for a TKL, I have 3 different tactiles and 4 different linears. So for tactiles, I have oh wait, no. Actually, I only have two different tactiles that are lubed, and then I have like stock options, if you want. So for tactiles, I have MX Brown, and JWK Blush switches, which are both light tactiles. I do think I can probably take out some. I actually don't know if they're on the hot swap board, but I don't think I have clears or purples that are lubed and ready, but I have those for now. And then for linears, I have JWK Kezia switches, which are 4mm 2-stage spring, lube with 205. Then I have Texi Sunny Side Up switches. These are from Canon Keys. These are 63.5 gram 2-stage springs, also full travel. Then I have Haimu switches. These are the pastel sand. And then lastly, of course, I have Cherry MX Black. So Cherry MX Black. These are, yeah, so these are also lube with 205, 62 gram. So there's those options. So there's those options that we can pick. I want to let you all pick. So I can do a poll if you want. Let's first pick the plate, and then we can start picking the switch, I think. But if you have specific options that you want to do, you can suggest. I will probably only just build it once in the interest of time, but maybe some other time I can do a second build or something like that. So obviously, some of the classic options are going to be like MX Brown on polycarb, MX Black on aluminum, pretty typical. I've seen MX Black on copper and brass as well, not in a typical option. If you wanted long pole switches, I do have some Obscuras around, but I believe Mr. Alex already did a build with Obscuras. So if you want a long pole linear option, do check out Alex's stream. He did Obscuras on his launch edition unit. And yeah. So I can do a quick poll for plate. Which plate? So it's polycarbonate, aluminum, brass, copper. I'll let people go ahead and vote. Is it me, or do sharpists increase my penmanship by like 30? Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, especially, it depends on, yeah, it depends on your handwriting, but I do think Sharpies do tend to look pretty nice. Caps lock? No, I just, I didn't do caps lock, I just hold the shift. Are you trying to role play me today? Alright, looks like, ooh, copper. People really want the copper. Alright. Is the step caps position north or south facing? Step caps is south and regular caps is north. Alright, copper plate it is. Alright. So for switches, I guess I need to compact one of the tactile options. So I'll just say, or maybe I'll just discard one of the linears. Maybe for something, I think I'm probably gonna take this. high move switches out. And so let's do a poll for switch on copper plate. So it's gonna be MX Brown, JWK Blush. This is tactile. JWK Kaizia, Linears, Texas, Sunny Side Up, and MX Black. So you guys can go ahead and vote on that one. I'm not knowledgeable enough to vote on this one. That's all right. So the first two options are two tactile switches, and the last three options are linear switches. They kind of vary in how they sound and feel, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just a personal preference. So I'll let people sort of pick that out. MX Brown is gonna win. It's gonna up there with MX Black actually. So it's up to people to choose. Cherry only. Yeah. All right, MX Browns on copper. Okay, it's an interesting choice. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's get those MX Browns out here. So these MX Browns, here they are. Alright. So, MX Browns, and I need the PCB, so I'm gonna have to undo this. So let's go ahead and get the PCB from the board. I think that's a T6. So for those who actually wonder what kind of sizes of Torx screwdrivers you should probably buy if you happen to just want a toolkit. I mean, I personally bought this this Wera kit that has a bunch of them, but the typical sizes that are used in keyboards are gonna be T6, T8, and T10 usually, and that's gonna be basically corresponding to M2, M2.5, and M3 oftentimes. So just so you know. So we take this out, and we have a daughter board to PCB connector to undo. Alright, so let's look at the internals first. Would be good to just kind of go over it. So you can see how this bottom case has a silicone insert kind of covering the bottom of the case over here. And this one is sort of just like molded right into the case, but it's removable. So it's a silicone insert that's removable. We have a long JST to JST connector here that goes from the daughter board onto the PCB. And so here we have this nice insert, very cool looking, just kind of wedges onto the support beams of the bottom case. So you can take a look here. Mr. Extra Prius, hello, how's it going? Also, Mr. MSA, thanks for the tier 1. So here you can see we have the daughter board, use a JST SH over here, have a nice long cable, and so as you can see, this silicone piece is sort of like attached to the exterior I think this one is adhesive, so if you remove this, it has an adhesive on it, so just so you know, if you ever happen to do that. But you don't have to. There's no screws underneath. There's nothing like that. So you won't ever have to really remove this like mega bump on the back portion. But you know, it's there. It's a pretty cool bottom. So yeah, this is what the silicone piece looks like. It's kind of molded to the shape of the bottom piece, which is pretty neat. So it kind of fills the case in a way that it is going to fill the case a decent amount, but also does leave some sort of space in between. And so, you know, if you want to just place this back, it's about as simple as just sort of wedging things in place. Just have to make sure that it lines up with the bottom. So just like that. That's how you put the silicone insert back on. Have you started exploring playing Natlan yet? No, I have not. I didn't even do my dailies yesterday, so no, I haven't. I honestly haven't really. I actually haven't played Genshin in a while. But more specifically because I just haven't really had the energy to. But yeah. Then we have a very thin piece of like very porous foam over here. So this is just kind of like a cover for the bottom of the PCB. Also fills the case. And then we have our plate and PCB over here. So this is attached. I mean, this is just kind of sandwiched in between. Looks like we already have some gasket socks in place, but this is what the plate and PCB look like. I will take these apart. I'm assuming I have to take these off. Take these off anyway, but there are 6 of these. Oh, it looks like we have some hot swap standoffs, so I have to remove those. So I'm just gonna remove the gaskets here. We have 6 of them. Yeah, there are screws on top of the plate. So let's go ahead and remove those. Also uses these T6. Is it good? Oh, MSA. I mean, I'm assuming it's good. I also wasted my pulls like a while back, and so I have like nothing. I have not much saved up for Natlan, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull for many characters for a while, and I don't really plan on spending money. So I think I'll just play with my current party as is for a while. I pulled on like weapons and a few other random things that I kind of just wanted. So yeah, made a mistake, but it was fine. Alright, and then we have plate foam for the foam lovers. We have PE foam for the foam lovers. So we got plate foam, PE foam. If you wanted foam, you have it. We have case foam. So we have the foam trio, which is gonna be case foam, plate foam, and PE foam, your favorite foam pieces. So if you're into foam, well, you'll have it, and you'll also have this case silicone insert. Don't touch the foam. Ah, Mr. Noto's raid. Hello, Rob, Mr. Alex. Whoa, big raid over here. Welcome, Alex. Foam into bin, please. Well, actually, I'm scared of throwing it and then Kiwi doing something about it, so I'll just leave it on the side. Wow, why foams? Had not heard of them. Is it new to you? New concept. Oh, interesting. Are these? Oh, these are just embedded onto the PCB. The standoffs. These are just like hard soldered onto the PCB. Pretty neat. There's 4 of them, and the PCB comes in nice. I don't know what color to call this. It's like light brown, gray, greige color silk screen PCB over here with LEDs for the light bar, stone. Yeah, that works. Yeah, some kind of like natural color. And we got south facing switches and perky LEDs for everything. Looks like that would be a caps lock indicator over there. And oh, interesting, it uses different different from usual. I don't tend to see left shift stabilizer orientation to be north facing. That's actually kind of rare, but looks like we have north facing left shift, south facing everything else. Oh no, north facing enter and left shift, and south facing everything else. I do believe I see Mr. Nephlock in the chat. Yes, he is around. You can't take the standoffs for the plate off. Gonna have to get into Riley's ear for that. Yeah, it doesn't look like I can take them off. I mean, I could probably rip them off, but I wouldn't do that. I mean, because you can see they have no screws on them. And they're just sort of there in place. Personally, not a big deal, honestly, because it is a hot swap PCB after all. I think if it were not a hot swap PCB, that would be a very different story. But I think in this case they do help with alignment among other things, so I personally I don't really feel feelings about it, if you may. Alright, so here's the copper plate over here. Let's go ahead and, oh, I do notice that we have a little tab bent. We can just bend it back. Just grab, maybe I can do it with my hand, but no, I'll just grab some pliers. Bend it back. Bent back. Alright, so let's go ahead and build this up. So I had some stabilizers over here. Alex said you could push it out with a solder iron. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, yeah, because they're soldered on. So you can certainly do that if you desire. Okay, so should just take out a piece of foam here to help me build stuff. I'll need test things. Let's protect my desk mat. So let's go ahead and lube and whatnot, all these things. Gonna use this to clip my stabs. Just buy a hot air station. Well, why don't you buy it for me? Haven't heard a classic with a metal plate yet. I believe Alex has been the only other person to build one yet. There are other people, I think, who are going to be building one as well. So I think if you wait long enough, you'll probably hear a variety of configs. Could have sworn you had one. No, I don't. I do have a, it's not like a full station, though. It's just one of those, like, simple ones. Yeah, but the full stations are much more expensive. I just have, like, the ones that do the blow the hot air, but yeah, nothing past that. There's like 2 intensities, and that's it. Like, it's not like temperature adjustable or anything like that. Do you guys like sweet potatoes? Who doesn't? Do you not like sweet potatoes, MSA? I love sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are pretty good. I mean, I think they have their time and place on a plate, but generally I do like them. I think it's hard to miss. I understand that for some people who are not used to sweet potatoes, it can be a little jarring to have the sweetness, like in this like starchy goodness, and then have like sweet from the sweet potato. But I think there's many ways to prep it, so yeah. My head is a hot air station. No thoughts. Lies. Mr. Koopa is just lying. I don't believe you. Alright, let's get some 205 to lube our stabs. I just ordered it as part of a rice bowl. Not grading that. Generally, they're solid. That's fair. It can be hit or miss. That's true. Where's Kiwi at? Kiwi is somewhere next to me over here. He's just lying down, chilling. But I assume that within the hour, he will probably start asking for sustenance. Aldi has these jalapeno sweet potato chips that slap. Ooh, that sounds great. Oh, I think that's him. I'm not sure if you can hear him. Can you hear him? It's very, very light. Kiwi just doing CEO things like usual? Yeah, of course. Making demands out of his employees and or servants, or just one of the other, but yeah. Yeah? What's up? Where'd he go? Oh. He left. Why are Drua and MSA like arguing? Awkward. Hi Kiwi. Kiwi's asking early as always. Quiet about it today. It's pretty early, so I guess he'll get louder in a bit. Something about emotes, I don't know. His taste in emotes is questionable. I feel like I kind of feel like I don't really care. Is there really taste in emotes if all they have to be is relatable and or funny and or expressive? Although I think funny is relative. Some people find some things funny and other people's really don't. So usually better to not go by sense of humor, but more so by kind of like relatable expressiveness. Some people's sense of humor is pretty twisted after all. Hell yeah, hype for Blue Alert. Yeah, so Blue Alert next week-ish. It would be, I guess technically it's, oh yeah, it is next week. I got the days confused, but it is next Friday. Next Friday we will have the launch of GMK Blue Alert Round 2 in the CYL product line. So yeah, if you have questions about it, you can feel free to ask. There is a exclamation Blue Alert command if you are curious about what it is. It's just a good old boring classic beige type of set with a lot of blue in it. It has existed previously through the vendors like Originative at one point, and it hasn't seen a rerun of sorts. I mean, there are very, very similar variants. I believe Linworks produced what they call Olivetti. I mean, that's what it was supposed to be initially. The first Blue Alert run was actually supposed to be like an Olivetti set. But yeah, it got changed a little bit, like color choices and whatnot. And it turned out to have its own, like it became its own thing. And then, yeah, it hasn't seen a rerun since 2017. So, 2017. Don't you ever get hit with 2 3-hour lectures in a row that will leave you wanting... Yeah. Okay. What are these people on? I had to specify that CYL bit. Yeah, of course. It's kind of funny. It's just cherry profile, but yes, cherry profile. GMK Blue Alert. Next Friday runs for about 21 days, so 3 weeks. The pre-order will be live through pretty much most of the vendors you know. I believe it's Oblotsky, J Prototypist, Desk Hero for Canada, iLoom KB, Z Frontier, Geon Works, Daily Clack, and of course NovelKeys. Bloody Easy, hello. It's been a minute. How are you? I saw you post the other day, and I was like, oh, right. Gotta let the doggos outside? Sounds good. Have a good walk. The WALK word. I know that some dogs get instantly triggered by the WALK word. How's New York City summer this year? Pretty damn hot. Pretty damn hot. Well, we had a few cool weeks. Days? Weeks? Because it like rained and stuff, but it got hot again like today. Today we hit 34, 35 Celsius, so back to hot for a bit. Might be the last hot week of the year, of the season, but I'm not sure. I still usually give it until mid-September at least for it to still be potentially hot, because it always happens at the end. But yeah, it's been a pretty warm summer. Generally. I do think I've gotten more used to it the past few years. Like, a little bit more used to summer stuff. But I still personally dislike it. I appreciate the light, the amount of light that summer brings. Like, having long daylight hours is nice. But everything else about the summer, honestly, I don't like. Especially the humid heat. Is the only thing. It's just like I feel like I go through my clothes really fast. And yeah, just like feel sticky, gross. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. It's bearable. The rain and heat back and forth is curb stomping my plants. Oh, yeah. If you have plants and or animals, depending, like, that are sensitive to these changes in the weather, it sucks for them, because they get fooled into thinking like, oh, so like last week it got a little cooler here in the city, like it was like, you know, in the 20-some degrees Celsius, so it's like, you know, it's like in the 70s, 80s, right? And I think Kiwi's coat has kind of grown a little bit, so like it's a little thicker feeling, and I bet he hates it today. Because now that he has a slightly thicker coat, I feel like he's like fooled into having a permanent sweater that's thicker, and like on a hot day like today, he's probably suffering. So he was actually sleeping all day because of it. I think he was kind of he looked a little lethargic. Oh, hi. It's not time yet. You're very early, Kiwi. Based fall and winter enjoyer. Yeah. The summer was a bit humid here. Max temp 48. Oh my god, 48. Okay, like I've experienced 40 like 1, okay? And that was like I was gonna die, okay? 48 though, it's wow. Unbelievable. Was that him meowing? Yeah, that's Kiwi. If you can hear something in the background that sounds like a meow, which isn't Technically really a meow. That's him. It's like yelling. Ah. Yeah. They're drowning and frying. Been a rough year for gardening in New York City. Yeah, we have like relatively resilient plants. We did recently kill a Dracaena because our pot was retaining too much water, so it didn't do well. It had root rot. But our Monstera is doing pretty well. The Bird of Paradise is doing okay now. Yeah. I'm not a huge plant person, but my partner really likes plants, and so yeah, we do keep like 4 or 5 pots around near the windowsill. Remember Monsteras were like a few $100s during the pandemic? Oh yeah, during the pandemic when everyone started picking up like 10 billion hobbies, yeah. I mean, just like keyboards, right? Just like keyboards. Like I remember the multi-$1,000 Janes and whatever. Not that they aren't, some of them still. But Pepperidge Farm remembers. What is the TGR of plants? I have no idea, actually. I don't know anything about plants to know that. I don't know what the TGR of plants is. What is a TGR of plants? What is the ultimate plant to have? You tell me. Do you know? Succulents are definitely 40%. Kind of accurate, I guess. They come in many shapes and forms, and they're kind of small. Cute. A bit difficult to manage. Depending. That's kind of accurate. Sounds like a 40. Mostly my veg. I'm newish. Veg grow fast, but are prone to issues and the pest. Oh yeah, pests pretty common, right? We had a fruit fly problem for a little bit, but we used like the what's that thing that you like mix with water? It's like kind of like basically like spore or no. We had like something that you mix and pour it into the soil and eventually like gets rid of them. We did that. Oh, I guess that was not fruit flies. Was it gnats? Anyway, see, this is how bad I am with plants. But yeah, we had like gnats for a bit, and we had those like sticky tape thingies. You're succulent. Oh, hi. Hello. Oh, don't eat that. Hi. Hello. Hello, Kiwi. How are you? You wanna hang out? Good boy. It's like, what the fuck is all this stuff? Where's my spot? Yeah, I know. It's not time yet, though. You're like an hour early or so. I mean, as you always are. Oh, goodbye. He leaves. He's like, not interested. Classic. What's all this? Not interested. Basically, not only you want to eat your veg, everyone else does too. Mammals, birds, bugs. Yeah, true. Oh gosh. The days when we find out that Kiwi has bitten a leaf or a plant in our apartment is just you notice when you wake up and you obviously can tell that he either isn't feeling very well or you know, he puked up somewhere, and you're like, I see a full leaf over here, and then you check the leaves of the plants and you obviously see like the fresh bite marks, and I'm like, Kiwi, we told you not to do that. It's not good for you. Not that he would listen, right? But yeah. I propose that any bonsai over 200 years old is a teacher of plants. That kind of sounds reasonable, bonsai trees. Oh, Kuza, hello. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Gian is running. Okay, hold on. Okay, so hold up. Let me roll back a little and read some of this stuff. GMK selling thousands of base sets, whatever the color was, is something I definitely don't miss. I personally don't care about GMK sets having big sales. I actually think that's good for the hobby. Like, very large group buys, totally fine. Not a problem. Fulfillment, that's their problem. That's a GMK problem for sure, like to fulfill on time and to fulfill reasonably quickly. But yeah, sure. I think there's pros and cons, but I personally think flourishing businesses in the hobby are a good thing. They bring about new products, new innovation. You know, lots of good things. I mean, look at the hobby now. Like, look at what $89 does for you now. $89 for this versus what 250 would be back in the day. I don't know. Definitely helps. But yeah, the keycap stuff, yeah, it was kind of rough. Let's see. Pandemic was when I got started in the hobby, like a lot of people. Stream were a big part of it. Let's see. Also, I was talking about this with Patty yesterday, but I want to know your opinion. Gian is running GMK Evil Dolch at 3,000 MOQ with 2,000 from his own money. My question is, do you think he can make 1K MOQ naturally? GMK Evil Dolch. My honest opinion? No. Several reasons. GMK Evil Dolch, I actually don't know how it did the first time. I don't think it did that well, did it? But I might be wrong. I might be totally wrong. I actually am gonna check. How did Evil Dolch do at the very end? Is there Mr. Dvorkol? Did you do any graphs on this? Oh, here. Final with extras. I actually sold quite a few. This was at the very peak of the pandemic. Oh, it was bought out into 1,000 units for base kits, and about 322 novelties, 250 spacebar kits, and then the rest seems like they pretty much... Oh, okay. So let's see, progress, 10 days, wait, no. Yeah, 10 days before it ended, it was at 340. So I assume it probably sold like 500 to 600 naturally. The first time. So for Gion's Evil Dolch to hit 1K naturally, organically, is kind of hard. I actually don't think Evil Dolch has the same popularity it did during the peak of the pandemic. Not to mention there's competitive colorways. Like, there are other gray, black, red sets, like Slasher is one. So, and also I do feel like the black, red, gray sort of combo is also not for everyone. Some people find it either edgy or boring. Like, it's great that Gian himself likes the colorway a lot, but personally I think it's not that popular of a colorway. Because I myself think I personally wouldn't get the set necessarily, unless convinced that I had a certain setup that I wanted it on. But it's not a set I would think, oh, that's a classic, or I must have it right now, you know? So I think that's probably why I feel that way. So yeah, 1Q organically, I think it's kind of hard to. I mean, yeah, across all vendors, sure. There's going to be some help here and there. There's going to be a lot of, there's going to be some promotion and all that. But yeah, 1Q organically is a little harder. I do think that Jian might be able to actually hit 1K organically because it's Jian running it. He has a lot of backing and popularity and sort of like a track record with him that, like his business prowess and whatever, that kind of will help him in that. But if I were to argue for just the colorway itself, questionable. But that's how I would feel about Blue Alert. Blue Alert, actually, I personally think even hitting MOQ is kind of hard. There's so many base sets, there's so many variations of beige, and honestly, the concept of Alert, right, like the accent road, that striped kit, is also niche. Not super appealing to everybody, especially in a boring colorway like beige. So I actually am banking on Blue Alert to not do that well. And it will be priced accordingly, by the way. Okay. Yeah, Jian does have the different base kit setup, and he's banking on it being huge in Korea. It's honestly a little rough. I don't know. Maybe Asia. I think the Asian market is a little different. I don't know how it. I don't understand exactly how it's supposed to behave, and so I don't really know it. But like, even if the base kits are cheap and accessible, like basically he's the Evil Dolch approach right now is similar to what Drop did with colorways like GMK Laser. GMK Laser and Red Samurai are two sets that I think had their popular phase. They had their classic runs, like their normal base kit type of runs the first time they ran. And then they were split up into these like niche kits, right? 65%, 1800, 60%, whatever, right? TKL, right? So I think that like for a company like Drop, it helped because they were also like selling it with keyboards, doing promotions for it, right? Like they were putting it into the Keycap club thing. They were like putting it into events, right? There are so many ways to distribute the set, and maybe Evil Dolch will have that kind of favor over time. But I don't know. I don't really think it's that strong of a colorway. But then again, Laser and Red Samurai are also sort of niche. I do think the Laser, though, I think appeals to a very popular mindset. The whole like, the whole like retro wave, funk, whatever thing. Cyberpunk, that kind of stuff. But like Red Samurai, I never expected it to be that popular. But it sold quite a few, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Ooh, okay. So we got some tight plate cutouts. So let's see. So we got some cherry stabs. Yeah, let's see how we do here. Ooh, this is tight. Okay, there we go. One side. Gonna need two hands here. So I do think these stab cutouts a little tight on the copper. Nice of you to still run Blue Alert, though. I mean, it's not that it's nice of me. I want it myself. I do it out of a very selfish reason, which is I want that set. I have Blue Alert R1, by the way. I have that set. I like it, but I want Textbook Icon mods. I want R5. I want the Alert row that wasn't ever there before. I'm being selfish. So I'm running it for very, like, personal reasons, essentially. And that's fine, right? I mean, that's exactly why you should be doing things too. Like, you don't see something in the market that's truly what you want, and you make it yourself. Holy moly, this plate is tight. Let's see how we do here. As long as the stabs clip on to the PCB and we don't get binding, it should be okay, but it sure is a tight plate here. We'll see how we do. Sorry, I'm like manipulating the plate like kind of off screen because I'm trying to like get some leverage. Okay, it's on now. Okay. The movement on the stabs is still fine actually. I do think I kind of shaved a little off the wall of the stabilizer, but its movement of the wire, it seems okay. Oh, Kiwi, it's a little early, man. I'll get you though in a bit. Don't worry. Tell me how many you need me to buy. You guys buy what you think is right for you. Don't worry too much about it. Alert road looks real nice on the right board. I agree. Probably gonna run mine on silver TKL. Yeah, silver blue good. He was saying about how red and black is very patriotic for South Korea. Yeah, sure. Red devils, red, black, white. Yeah, I get it. Korea colors, I get it. But it's just like, think about patriotism for a second. Not everybody feels patriotic about their country, you know, that, you know, in which they're born. So I guess it's the same with Korea. People might feel patriotic, but some people won't. Some people think black and red is edgy. Some people think red, white, and blue is edgy and dislikable. So isn't that the same? All right. Let's try to put on some switches here. Oh man, this is tight. Let's see how we do. Oh, it's a little misaligned. Okay, there we go. Oh, I should update the build command. I forgot. Thought someone would let me know, but I actually just forgot myself, so that's a problem. True, I ain't buying an America themed set. I mean, yeah, see. So yeah, I don't think everyone will buy into Evil Dolch in Korea because it's, you know, patriotic. People will buy it because they just happen to like the color scheme, and that's gonna be pretty much just depends so highly on the person. Okay, copper plate is tight. So need to be really careful, making sure that the pins line up properly. Obviously the not stab cutouts, the standoffs and whatnot will help a bit. But yeah, you just gotta make sure everything lines up, make sure your switch pins are nice and straight. Okay, good. Okay, probably a good idea to use a switch plate here. Plate fork, my bad. But it is tight, man. There we go. Whew. Thought about buying some of the smaller kits to spice up a WOB set. That's pretty much, I think, a very good way to go if you like parts of Evil Dolch but don't like the whole thing as it is. Is it Blue Alert R2 that you're talking about? I did mention it, yeah. I mean, I was saying basically that Blue Alert R2 is essentially thought of as a set that is basically on the line to hit MOQ, like as in like we don't necessarily trust that it will, but it's like, you know, that's why we're trying. not sure if that pin went in or not. I feel like the pin bent, but I'm like maybe just imagining it. No, I think it did go in. Okay. We need more brown for what? Boards? Board colors? Or keycaps? The GMK NCR said that was gonna be dark brown legends on beige. Oh, the one from what's their name? What's their vendor name? Cafage? Thick Doc Dog? I think it's John running that. Okay, now that the plate is sort of like lined up, it's pretty much easier to put the switches on. So, but before I keep going all the way till the end of the build, I should test my PCB. I mean, not PCB, the stabs, because I just want to make sure that they're not binding from how tight the plate is. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Board and caps, I do agree. I think brown is nice. So I have that like the densest Thika board, and that board is super nice in the brown that it came in. I do agree that like warm gray, brownish colors are super nice, more like natural tones. Oh yes, I should update the build command. So let me do that. Where is it? Okay. Build is gonna be, so these are cherry MX brown switches. These are Lube with TriboSys 3204 Kiwi soon, and springs and TX films. They'll be mounted onto a copper full plate. And stabs are cherry clip ends. Yeah, okay. Cool. Just updated that. Alright, cool. And these are, yes, these are indeed MX2A brown switches. Okay, so I was testing this. Almost forgot. Okay, stab return is pretty good. Okay. Okay, good. Stabs are good. That's actually a pleasant surprise. I felt the plate was a little too tight, but it seems like it's fine. I do find it kind of a little bit on the tighter side though. Just gotta make sure all my pins are straight here for the hot swap. I've had a thing for goldish brown boards lately. Oh yeah, the Heine TKL one is like that color, right? That color is also super nice. Super duper nice. But like, it's not even like mustard. It's like, I don't even know. It's like the kind of gold. Dark gold. I know, Kiwi, I know. Alright. The rest should be pretty quick. Just putting switches on. I recently ordered a Wooting. Any suggestions on what mods task I should do first? I actually don't know how, like, what their stock state is like. But I would first suggest, it probably has stabilizers. I would first suggest, like, lubing your stabilizers. I think that's usually the first thing. There's many guides out there for that. You know, but I believe the Wooting boards also come with like hot swap sockets, right? So I think you can probably just take off the switch, take off the stab, and then go ahead. But yeah, stabs first I would worry about. Then next I would worry about if you don't like parts of the switches, or if you don't like how they sound, how they feel, etc. Then you would worry about switches, swapping them out for different options. And then you can worry about like case mods or anything like that. That kind of is a very personal preference thing. Some people will suggest like filling it up with foam or other materials. Some people will suggest not doing any of that. It's gonna depend a lot on how you feel about it once you get it. But I think I don't know what kind of shape they come in. I think that's the real answer from me. But yeah, what people are saying is probably pretty sensible though. I don't have any of the Wooting boards myself. Call it a gray gold. Bay Champagne is the RAL name, I think. Oh, interesting. It's called Bay Champagne. TKL. Alright. Alright. I feel like I bent the pin right there. Yep, that was right. Let's use a different switch. It's easier. Okay. Wait, I don't know why I did that. I'm an idiot. I should take out the plate fork first. Oh, it's so tight. This. Yes, Kiwi. Yes, soon. Okay, there. Yeah. Yeah, it's the plate fork. It's the thing that you use to keep the plate and the PCB like equidistant from one another, so that it's easier to hold up the plate and insert the switches. Also helps with lining up things a little bit. Useful tool to have, especially with softer plates like polycarb. Okay. We're almost done here. Okay. Last little bit here. I have a feeling the keyboard from an Apple II is nothing like these enthusiast keyboards. If you're talking about like the Apple extended keyboard, so that has Alps switches typically. There's different varieties of Alps switches. I think typically Apple extended keyboards will come with SKCM whites or SKCM salmons or orange switches, clickies or tactiles usually. They do sound and feel different from like enthusiast boards, but then again, there are also enthusiast boards that can be built with Alp switches. So there's that. There are people who really like their Apple extended board type of build. So there are folks who are very enthusiastic about Alp switches. So there are customs that you can build with them too. From the switches, with the keycaps, etc. There have been some enthusiast boards that are pretty much modeled after the Apple extended keyboard, just in a more compact layout, such as such as what should I call it? Like the Lunar is one that's modeled after the AEK. Alright, let's put on these standoff screws over here. And then next step would be to put our gasket socks accordingly. It's pretty nice actually. I really like the conjoined line on these. Actually looks this is a very, very nice quality of life thing in my opinion. Kiwi, what are you doing? Did I get the sides right? Let me just, I can double check. Looks like there is a thicker part and a thinner part. But if I got that wrong, I can double check myself. Looks like it's fine. Yeah, okay. Alright, I think that's that. Orientation doesn't matter? Okay, great. So that works. Put these little stab thingies for the cherry stabs, because why not? especially with how tight this plate is. I have a feeling I would rather have these stabs, clip-in stabs, locked right in. These are just from like other TX stabs. Yes, Kiwi, very soon. I actually will go and feed Kiwi in just a bit. He will get very desperate otherwise. Yes sir, I know. I know. He heard me. Yeah, if you're looking for a new keyboard, Craigon X, I would say first identify the layout. I think that's actually usually how it goes with me and my clients. If people kind of come in with no idea of what they want, they're like, hey, want to consult you about getting a new keyboard. Don't know much about it, totally new to it, want to know what's out there, want to try new options, and or I have these preferences and I want to go with whatever you suggest. Usually the first thing I say is layout. So what layout works best for you? Are you willing to ditch the numpad? Are you willing to go for more compact layouts? Are you willing to change your muscle memory on how you type and try something even smaller? Are you familiar with like function layers? If not, are you willing to adjust to that too? That kind of stuff. So usually I think layout first, and then you can go with because once you have the layout, you narrow down the number of options available out there by a whole lot, right? So then you're gonna think about like what are the aesthetics that you want for that board. And then you go with, okay, so you identify what options are out there, the aesthetics that you want. Maybe you want like a low profile or a high profile. Maybe you want something that has a certain color option available. That's actually a huge thing. Some people are like, if it's not this color, I don't want it. If it's not black or white or pink or whatever, I don't want it. And then lastly, you go with switch, plate, like those, the customizable options, right? So I would go with that first. Yeah. But yeah, you need to kind of probe it out of people. You need to sort of like have a little list of questions and or options. And if it's a gift, right, it's a little harder, I know. But I'm sure they'll appreciate the intention in the first place, so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you don't want to push it on someone, like to do that, then always a safe bet, like outside of full size, is going to be, I mean, there's full size variants, there's like 1800 style, right? Which is slightly more compact from full size, just like compresses the arrow cluster a little bit, right? Then there's going to be TKL 75% next. And then you can find things like, you know, and then you can go down from there as desired, but usually I think that's the first step down. I got my girlfriend a Cypher. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright, so the question is, do we keep the silicone piece, yay or nay? I think yay, because it just fills case space that otherwise is just there. I think I'll just leave it for now. Why not? Yeah, let's just keep it first. And as you can tell, Kiwi's getting a little desperate. So I can go and get Kiwi a little something. And then I'll be right back. Okay. Alright, let's close this up first. So usually I always go with inside screws. Just make sure you press two halves together so that they close nicely. And then corners. It looks like those screws are just extras. We have a few extra gaskets here too. So I'll just keep those aside. And I know we have to pick a key set. I did see, okay, Kiwi, okay, I know. I do know that somebody earlier redeemed for, was it for, I don't know, I saw someone redeem a key set, which, I don't know where my, activity feed is. Oh, here. Let's see. Close that. Close that. Filter. Let's see. Rewards. Oh, I see. Wob asked. Wob asked by Mr. Drua. Do we want Wob? I kind of feel like Wob is kind of one choice, but I have some other options I can show you, okay? I have a couple more. Excuse me, Kiwi. I have Wob, of course. I have 1520, which kind of goes nicely with the bits of yellow in there. I have gray on black. Which, as you can see, is pretty new. Well, actually, yeah, no, these are new. I have Euler, but I already put in a different board. Terra Drive is on a different board. Of course, I have variants of Wob, like Wob Hangul, stuff like that. Yeah. Veto his ass. I mean, I kind of said that with the intention of doing so. Today was kind of a people's choice kind of thing, like the whole thing, like from the choice of the switches to the choice of the plate to the choice of the keycaps. I don't have GMK Think caps, unfortunately. That's actually a set that I don't have. So I can't do Think caps. I actually don't have that. That's a set I didn't buy because I figured I had enough stuff that was close enough. Like I have Dolce and Dolce's kind of close there. Yeah. Think caps is nice though. Something with gray would slap. With gray? Well, there's Dolce. I can get my list of keycaps to see what else could suit it. So there's Terra Drive, there's Euler, both of which have some gray on them. Let's see. Oh, Kiwi. Not feeling Alter really. No, it's too light, I think. Yeah, 1520 got some gray. Yeah, because of the accent stuff. like the afro and like the miscellaneous stuff in the set. 1520 got has gray in it. So yeah. Wow, you have 1520? Yeah, I do. I do. I actually can't think of too many other sets. The rest is kind of like WAP variant. Or just black. Like I have a Lux, I have Miami Nights, I have Mictlan. But they're all black base wise. There's Dolce, Oblivion. Looking here. Shanshui, that's pretty much WOB. Slasher. I'm not feeling like Slasher today though. Nice set though. And if you want something brighter, I have like Toko and Vamp. No, not Vamp. What's that other set? Crap. The Hanafuda base one that Krelbit ran. 1520? Alright, 1520 it is then. I'll just do 1520. No more dual shot? Why please no more dual shot? Have you seen a lot of dual shot out there? Is dual shot like a overly done thing? So check out this cool banderole. Super nice. NovelKeys. Really cool. I wonder oh, this is nice. Nice little banderole box. I usually flatten these guys out and keep them separately, but yeah, it's very nice, very clean. They forgot to add Desk Hero as a vendor. Oh no, Canada denied. SMH, our closest neighbors, and this is how we treat them. Don't work like that. Just kidding. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go and feed Kiwi, so I'll BRB, okay? He's been like demanding for this for a little while, so be right back. Kiwi, it's time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I am back. Ooh, must have hit the C-stand a little. Alright, so 1520 it is. I'm gonna unplug this for now. Actually, no. Let me just make sure all my switches work. I think that's actually probably a better first step to take. Let's see. Shows up on VIA right away. Super nice. So you can see it over there if you want. As programmed is fine. I tend to use control on caps lock, so I personally don't really use caps lock at all. I don't really use scroll lock either, so I prefer to have right when here and the layer key on my scroll lock. And the rest is fine. I won't bother with the other stuff, but I can also toggle off the RGB, so you can toggle it off like that, toggle it back on. Let's keep it off for now, and let's go to the key tester. Layer 1 has retro on the spacebar. What does retro do? Is it a surprise that I must find out? Turns off the switches, light bar only. Oh, damn, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Light bar only? Wait, hold on. So if I do this, ooh, damn, that's sick. I see. Oh, that's nicer. I'm into that. I'm into that. Well, let's leave it like that because that's my jam. And okay, everything works. Light bar only is the way. I agree. Although it's moving a little faster than I prefer, so let me go to the lighting tab and FX speed. Little bit down, further down. That's good. Actually, a little bit more down. Yeah, that's good. A little bit up. Okay, that's good. And I'll save my key map for now because why not? I redeem WOB at the start. Refund me? Yeah, sure. I'll refund you. No worries. If you want a refund, you'll get your refund. That's not a big deal. Where's my rewards? Oh, here. Rewards queue. I hydrated. I'll refund you that. And I did this. And Kona builds. Hello. Very sweet. What is the QMK equivalent macro to tuning the light bar on off? Yeah. So you have a tab, like if you go to VIA, so like earlier I adjusted my lighting from here. It's like over here, down here, lighting, backlight, and then you can like adjust things. You can also do it there. Like right now I cycle left to right, so it's like cycling left to right the colors at a certain speed. K Kona W. Oh man, I haven't seen that in a minute. How are you doing? Do you get the 1520 extension? I need to check. I actually don't remember if I did or not. Let me see. 1520. Oh, I did. I do have the extension. I just need to go get it. I just didn't put it with the base kit for whatever reason. It's probably in my box with the other kits. Scuffed, I'm good. How are you? Hobby has slowed down a bit. Yeah, hobby has indeed slowed down a pretty decent bit. Which I personally find pretty pleasant in many ways. I mean, certainly, you know, having more work and more things to do is also really nice. But that said, I also enjoy the kind of like slightly slower pace. I can kind of enjoy myself doing certain things more, and so that's pretty sweet. Ooh, GMK 1520 is a pretty cool. Oops, wrong key over there. Pretty cool variant of wob. At least variant-ish. I mean, it has a lot of color for it. It's gonna look pretty nice though. Let's see. Really like all these keys with sub-legends with color. At least the nice part is how at least the white legends are double shot, and the sub legends will eventually, I suppose, disappear if you know, they're UV printed and you can use them quite a bit, and they'll eventually fade out, I guess. But I think in my personal use, I've found that I haven't really managed to fade any of the UV print stuff. Some people have much more abrasive fingertips, I suppose, and they'll do that. But in my case, I haven't found any of my UV printed sets to fade easily. But that might just be a personal thing. What's your oldest UV print set that I've used? I can say. Let me see actually. My oldest UV print set is probably GMK Triumph Adler Royal Alpha. That one has green, like dark green and light green parts on it, and that I used that for a bit, and that hasn't faded. That's pretty old. That's like 2016 or something like that. GMK has also added a clear protective coat to UV. Oh, that's really nice. Like, that's such a nice touch, because it is certainly true that it would kind of suck in some cases to see that fade. Like, you know, like where I would prefer not to see it, like GMK Redacted is a good set where you have that the whole shebang with the keys. Like that one is kind of cool to see it eventually go away, but I imagine there are like a bunch of sets, like Polybius is a good one. I think Polybius is one of those sets that I would prefer not to see fade out, especially like on the UV printed ones, because like the mods like have a bunch of that. Or Olivia number 3. Yeah, that's a good one. I actually was intending on picking up Olivia number 3 APL at one point. I just never did. Kind of ran out of money. TBH. So yeah, I guess eventually I'll probably pick a set up, but yeah, we'll see. Alright, so Control Alt Control Alt. Looks like this one is using 2 system keys. Have our spacebar over here. And someone remind me. Let me see what the GMK 1520 extension kit had on it. Extension kit had just regular F-row, and windowed keys, and a few extra things. I think we can use all the gray on this. For now, I think we'll just go with the base kit, just since we have it here. So I'll do all gray F-row. Also, what was up, Harry Smallwood? Ooh. Nice touch of gray. Although, I wonder if alternating it on a TKL would look nicer. So maybe do Let me see if I can find that extension kit. Yeah? Maybe I'll do alternating. Where did I put that? Kit. Oh. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the extension kit for the set. So let me see. I will do alternating. Should I do black, gray, black, I guess. Black, gray, black. Okay. So that means middle can put black on it. Then we'll use some artisans for the clusters, because we always do. You know me. You know me. And maybe we'll go with black colored stuff for that, so it's easier. So, got a few black colored things here too. If you might be interested in any of these, I'll just put it over. If you want to take a look. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what to put on the escape. You know what? I know Mr. Nephlock likes one sculpt for sure. I know he likes egg faces, so I'll put an egg face on escape. This is cool. Actually, this is kind of like more Grecian themed, but I think this is perfect for escape. And then I think for the other side, we have some color going on here. So maybe I'll top it with the matching Bomb King on the top right. And kind of torn here. Maybe I'll do a Pato. And is it too busy? I'll go with the, maybe I'll go with the lat to kind of add a little extra color there. We need a fugu in there now? Ooh, I mean, we could do a fugu. Just need to get one. I have a bunch of fugus over here in a baggie. A black fugu. Ooh, this one works. Look, this fugu, It's the fiery fugu that they did a while back. Maybe I'll do that one. Alright, goodbye, lat, for today. We'll do a fugu. So we'll do fugu, ninja, bato, and our bomb king. Nice. Rad indeed. Alright, let's zoom it in a little bit so you can kind of see it more closely. If you want to see it from this side, you indeed can. Oof. That looks nice. Sheesh. Alright, let's get it. I really like how that looks. Let's set it up for a typing test. So then my little filter thingy not work. Looks like I need to re-interface all of that. That's fine, no biggie. Alright, let us mute this mic here. And I'll turn off a fan here. I know that the AC is running in the back, so it's a little loud. And I'll go ahead and silence the music as well. And all right, there we go. So still a little too bright. Can barely see the LEDs over here, but I guess you'll get to see them on a different angle for a bit later. So let's see. Alright, let's get the type on this. Okay, actually, you know what? I'll briefly turn off the AC because it's just kind of loud in the background, right? It's probably cool enough in the room now, so it should be fine. I should turn off once the thermostat kicks in. There it is. And let's try to type on this. So we got a build with MX Browns on a copper full plate on this classic TKL. We have a very nice set, GMK 1520, with some artisan keycaps from Keycaps and Aussie Keycaps, and the classic TKL will be out, I think, sometime in September. I think mid-September is where I was told. They're looking to launch. Starts at $89 US. Injection molded plastic case with lots of little cool features, with a Yancar PC with per key RGB, as well as a light bar, which currently looks pretty much white, but I can assure you it is a light bar. And yeah, so let's try it out. MX Browns on copper. Let's try it. And 5 seconds before the ad started, I'll snooze them. Oh, whew. Whew. Barely ended the sound test before the ads were about to hit people, before the mods. So there it is. How do you guys feel about it? I personally think it sounds really nice. I do think that the dampener in there is doing some work. I do think it sounds nice with the copper plate. Definitely feels stiff. That's a given. Copper plate, brass plate, it's gonna feel stiff. That said, I do think the MX Browns really sound good on copper. Probably will sound very similar to brass because after all, copper and brass are such similar materials. You can definitely try aluminum if you want something more in between. There will be, I believe, plate files and that kind of stuff accessible later on, where it's, you know, if you want to do custom plates, make your plastic plates, Everfloor plates, whatever you want, you probably can do that later on down the line. But their offerings will be, you know, aluminum, copper, brass, and polycarb as a default. And so that's what it sounds like. Let's go ahead and listen to the modifiers. There it is. Really nice spacebar sound on this. Spacebar sound on this pretty good. I know that some people may have had some doubts or whatever because there is a mounting point pretty close to this bar over here. But I think the gasket socks are doing a decent amount of work. That's it. It is a copper plate, so pretty rigid, of course. Definitely not much give, if at all. I mean, I would say really barely any give at all. And so if you want a stiffer typing experience, copper and brass are the way to go. Not much space in there for things to wiggle around or anything. I think if you go with the polycarb plate, much different experience, much softer. The gasket socks are pretty soft as well. So that's probably the way to go if you want something in the middle. Just go with aluminum. Always a safe option. But it sounds really damn good, in my opinion. And it looks, I mean, it pretty much, like, if I have to say, like, it really reminds me of the Real Force so strongly that it's like, it feels like the MX version of the Real Force, right? And at the price point and all that, like, kind of has the, like, it definitely is a little bit reminiscent of the good old reliable board. Like, you know, people would buy HKBs and Real Forces because they like Topper and it's reliable, it just kind of works out of the box. I feel like the classic TKL does encapsulate a lot of that. It's going to be a kit that's going to be in stock. It's going to be cheap, accessible, easy to customize and use, and sounds and feels pretty good. So yeah, honestly, really nice aesthetics, as well as just overall, like, the package deal is a very, very, very strong contender for a super solid offering, especially for a TKL, a custom, you know, MX TKL out there. I think it's a very good deal if you like plastic cases, especially, of course. If you want aluminum, you know, seek out your aluminum customs. There's plenty out there. I know that like was that RØDE and the Neo guys are like doing a bunch of stuff. I know that you know, there's a lot of people out there doing aluminum customs for cheap, and you know, there's a lot of options out there for it. This is very much not as the same comparison. Can't really compare them apple to like apples to apples here. and so I think this is an excellent offering at the price. Is it possible to lock the light bar to one color? Yeah, I believe you can. I would just go to VIA, and let me see. So let's actually change the view over here to the overhead. I'll show you VIA over here, and I believe you can just say solid color, and let's say want yellow. That's too bright. Actually, it's because the brightness is so high. So yellow, reduce the brightness a little bit. Actually, maybe a little bit of a purer yellow, let's say, and you can do that. Boom. So yeah, you can definitely do solid color, right? Let me remove that. So you can see it's solid colored. Right now the brightness is a little bit lower, so that's probably why you can see some of the gaps, but once I raise the brightness a little bit, it's pretty seamless. And actually you can always check it out with the lights off, so I'm gonna just go ahead and turn the light off. So obviously you're having a hard time here to do that, but yeah, so there it is. I can switch the light bar a little bit. So here I can go back to maybe cycle left right, and affect the speed a little bit up, and you can sort of see that go through the light bar effects. So that's like the retro mode. If I go ahead and disable, or actually just disable that, technically the backlight LEDs are here. Here the camera is struggling because of the light, or lack of light thereof. But there's backlight LEDs over here, but right now not so visible because the switches are blocking a lot of the light. But if you're using some other switches, this will be a lot more visible. But yeah, there's also backlight LEDs as well. Maybe I guess we can always increase some of the brightness here and whatnot. But yeah, personally I would say I'll be an advocate of the retro mode, which is just the light bar on. So yeah, and lights back on, and yeah, so there it is. What do you guys think? Pretty good, pretty solid offering. We can check out the full aesthetics of the board here. So if you take a look at the bottom, it does have this silicone base here, which it is true, like especially on black, it will like acquire quite a bit of dust and whatnot. You can already actually see it on my unit over here, so you can kind of wipe it off with a brush or something. Actually, the brush is making it worse because I brushed something else which was really dusty and had a bunch of kiwi fur, and now it's making it worse. Great, I'm a genius. But you can definitely clean it off. It will pick up some dust, but yeah, like a baby wipe or like, you know, like a wet wipe or something like that will clean that right off. And since you can always just piece it apart, super easy to do. Just take off the daughter board if you want, and voila, right? You can just dry it off and it'll be easy to clean. But yeah, that's the bottom. Pretty solid office board, yeah. Actually, it has a decent amount of heft into it. Like, I think, let me actually get a scale if you guys want to have an idea of the weight. But this is like a solid 2 to 3 pound weight. I think especially with the copper plate here, which is quite heavy compared to the polycarb, this is gonna be a bit heavier. Maybe it'll hit a little higher than that. So waiting for it to tear. Okay, tear, and oh yeah, almost 3 pounds. So you can kind of barely see it here. 2 pounds and 14.6 ounces. So basically 3 pounds, 16 ounces to a pound, right? So 3 pounds, if you don't want freedom units, that's gonna be 1.3 kilos. Because a pound is 454 grams. So pretty solid. Honestly, the weight is like moderately heavy. Actually, like I think for a full plastic board like this is a decent amount of heft. There is some amount of heft that goes into the silicone dampener itself, like it is dense and it is sitting right at the bottom. That said, the plate and the internals are contributing quite a bit too, but it's a nice package here, all in one sort of deal. Quite nice. 16 ounces to a pound, 1,483 inches in a quart. What? I had no idea. Love Freedom units. But you know, I think the few things that people try to check for, things like hollowness, right? Honestly, don't really think it's any kind of obnoxious type of hollowness or anything like that. I mean, it sounds pretty normal for R1 top row. Silicone dampener doing some work there for sure, but then again, it doesn't seem to be affecting the acoustics in a way where it leans towards things like having foam in your case, like when people have a lot of case foam in their keyboard and it sounds like that, like the sound traveling through the foam. It doesn't have that characteristic sound of it, so the dampener is just kind of filling up a little bit of a gap in there, and adding some heft to the case. Pretty nice. So I personally would leave the dampener in there by default always, and then, you know, take it out if you want to, but you always have the option to take it out, take out the silicone dampener. So, but yeah, pretty nifty, pretty nice. Really pleasant board here by NovelKeys. And I know that the stream is sponsored and all that, but you know, this is really just my own opinion. So you can kind of see it. I realize it's NovelKeys, so RIP EU. Yeah, so the first release will be NovelKeys only in-stock release for now. But they are looking into ways to having it in stock through other vendors. Future launches, future like stock of the board will also have options somewhere in other places once that's available. That said, if you have friends in the US, you can always ask a friend to proxy it for you, or something like that. Hitch a ride, maybe they're visiting. So yeah. So yeah, there it is. There is the classic. Really nice. Personally, I do think that well, currently I don't have an office to boast about because I officially brought all my stuff back from my old office. But once I have an office again and I can take custom boards, I will consider taking the classic TKL in. Super nice. Job soon, TM. I'm gonna be honest. It's been quiet, man. I haven't gotten a single interview past the resume. Like everything's getting filtered out. Yeah, I get like, you know, the emails that say like, oh, you know, position's closed or whatever. It's been can they shimmy you in somewhere? Have you talked to your advisor? Yes, I have. Unfortunately, there's no funding for a postdoc, so, and I don't want to, I mean, yeah, temporarily that could be like an arrangement that I did seek already, but yeah, unfortunately there's no funding available for postdocs, so not something I was seeking right away. So I guess expect more keyboard stuff for now. I do intend on. I am actually, so these MX Browns actually are lubed for a different board that I was planning on building during said build-a-thon type of event. So I do plan on doing like a build-a-thon type of event where I build a bunch of my own boards and whatnot. Maybe some other people's boards, I don't know. whatever's available, and then you know, run a long stream and have like prizes, giveaway stuff. And so yeah, actually these MX brands were gonna go somewhere else, but using them for the classic here because you have them available. So yeah. Rough time Sag, it's okay. I mean, it's just passing times. It's just the way it is. Personally, I don't feel like down, but it is rough because it is just the way it goes, right? It's just the way it goes. Okay, so I guess we can wrap it up here. But if you guys do have questions right now regarding whether it's the classic, or if you have questions regarding Blue Alert, feel free to ask them in the next few minutes, 5 minutes or so. I'll stick around for a little bit. And yeah. But again, do want to thank Mr. Mike Ziegler, and Nephlock, Riley. Thank you again for agreeing to send this out over to me. I know there's a lot of people out there who take amazing photos and even videos and all this cool stuff out there that I certainly don't do. So yeah, thanks. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty wonderful product at $89 US. I think it's kind of, I can't say it, like, it's always crazy to me though, like $100 in keyboards today in 2024, mid 2024, takes you so far along the way compared to what $200-300 used to do back when we started, like a lot of us started. It's crazy. Like, the times have changed, man. Like, there's so much good stuff for so cheap. It's so nice. It's insane. It's like, it's such a good deal. And like, if you see things like this, like when I think of, like, I see this and I'm like, man, that's like a real voice, but MX. I don't need to put MX sliders on my real voice, you know. But I mean, like, it's like that feeling. I'm just like, holy shit, because you associate the real force with like a $250 board or whatever, right? Like, it's Toper too, and Toper's expensive by default. But even in MX, like, this stuff would be expensive. And now I'm like, oh, sub $100, and all I have to do is add stabs and switches. That shit's crazy, man. That's crazy. I mean, it came with that cable. Where's that cable? This cable looks so nice. Like, I'll be paying like, you know, $10-20, or I don't know how much, but I'll be paying like a little bit more for that cable like this, right? I mean, obviously it's like, you know, you can mass produce and whatever, but it looks hella nice. Well, it's like small details like this though. Like, it has everything included. You don't have the tools, you have them now. Heck, this even comes with the cable tie. How nice. It's just quality of life things. But like, stuff in the keyboard scene now, man, so good. So good. Boomer chatting, for real. For real. Back when I started, you could get an LZ for 300. That's true. I mean, and sure, like the legendary OTD boards and whatever would have been like cheaper. Yeah, sure, I get that. Different times, different reasons, different pros and cons. But yeah. Real Force Pro Max Plus. What are those keycaps? This is GMK 1520. I'm so sorry to say, but I actually got my kit from Oblotsky. So I mean, I think that will change soon because the euro is going up relative to the dollar. But it actually is cheaper for me to get something from Oblotsky, because when you consider the price minus VAT and then not getting charged state tax from Nexus, it ends up being more expensive buying it locally when like you get charged the shipping. And for me, like, New York tax, right, it's pretty high. It ends up being more expensive for whatever reason. I think the conversion rate also helped for a bit. The euro was a little bit weaker, but the euro is getting stronger again. The dollar is actually falling a little bit. I think I saw that the sterling pound and the euro are like the stronger they've been in a while. So it's flipping around because of the price of oil, but yeah. Jay Murky, hello. How's it going? I'm doing all right. A starter card is a finisher card. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think the concept of starter board is relevant today with keyboards. Like I just genuinely don't think starter board is equivalent to low cost anymore. I don't think that's it anymore. Low cost can be a killer keyboard like now. Like aluminum customs, like I can't not recommend boards like the Neo 80 or like that TB8 board that was around, like Tech Bear one, and like the one that was after the Click Clack, and there's like a few others, right? Like there's aluminum customs that I'm just like, how? I mean, yes, I know how, but like volume and certain things, design things and whatnot in production, but there's so many good things. Yeah. All right. True. I mean, I'll be grabbing a classic. Couldn't stop yourself from doing it, huh? I know, Rob. You have a lot of boards too, don't you? I've been so picky about picking up new stuff. Space obviously is the first thing that I think of. Like when I am contemplating picking up a new board these days, I can only think of what my partner is about to say about it. Like as it is, getting climb boards is already like, you got another box? How big is that box? Where are you gonna put it? Our living room has boxes, or the closet's full of boxes. Where's that box gonna go? So when I think of I'm gonna get something for myself, like another board or whatever, I'm like, I can't do it. So I've been really stopping myself from picking up new boards as much as possible. Living in an apartment obviously is a constraint. I don't live in a big house with a shed or a storage or an extra room or floor, right? But that stuff is real. And also I just have a lot of boards that I cycle through and I use, but I genuinely don't need more. I can't stop feeling that I do want to try certain things. So I'm very appreciative when people say, hey Diego, want to try this board out. They send it out, I try it, maybe I send it back, maybe I keep it, maybe I give it away, whatever it is. But super thankful that I get to do that, as you know, doing keyboard content stuff. That said, it's yeah, I've been long enough in the hobby that I've accumulated a lot of stuff, and also not gotten rid of enough, I guess, that I now have too much. So storage is always the issue, though. Yeah, I'm having the issue of many base designers releasing things, but I can't buy all the things. But I was bored. Yeah, that's another thing. I've managed to, like, over the years, I've managed to make friends with people, and these people initially were enthusiasts, and now they're designing things for themselves. And they make cool things too, because they have preferences that line up with mine. And then they're like, hey, there's this group buy for my new keyboard or whatever. And I'm like, I want to support it. But, like, space and money and the number of people maybe doing that, it's sometimes a lot. Of the same kind, maybe I already have that thing. Similar thing, but different. Same but different. It's hard to put all my eggs in every basket. So I've been trying to be picky. The trick is to keep Nephlock, Mr. Nephlock, Metropolis, Cladney. That's true. That's the trick. That's the trick to avoid, to prevent me from getting certain things. Dual Shy, Botanical. I could name a bunch of sets that I was like, I really like that, but I'm not gonna get it because I'm gonna be nitpicking on it. And I don't love nitpicking, but you eventually do when you have built preferences. It is what it is. Save money, I guess. And I guess that goes with switches and keyboards too. Shona is, hello Diego, I'm eagerly waiting for GMK Blue Alert. Is it time to massively increase your artisan collection? What do you mean? What do you mean time to massively increase my artisan collection? You mean because of the collabs? Or what do you mean? My biggest issue is never wanted to sell any of my old stuff or new stuff. Yeah, I have that problem big time. Big time. I get so attached to the stuff I have. I like it for certain reasons. I bought it for certain reasons, so I get attached to them. And now I'm like, I don't want to get rid of that to get something new. And so now, at the end of the day, I either choose not to get it, the new thing, or sometimes I do try to swap it, or sometimes I do end up getting something new and without getting rid of something old, which is not a good thing. Use your backdoor connections to collect all the GMK Blue Alert collab artisans. Oh no, that's not the way it works. When it comes to collabs, so I actually was very reluctant to reach out to makers. Like, I don't love the idea of it. First of all, like, a lot of the makers don't even need the advertising. Like, I don't, they already have a fan base that supports them, whatever they put out, and, you know. So when you ask a maker, like, hey, I designed this new key set or whatever, can you do a collab with me? I mean, you call it a collab, but is it really a collab? You're not doing any work. You collaborate, but are you doing any labor there? No. I feel like I don't do anything. All I do is, here's the colors. Can you make some keycaps that match those colors? I can help you get color samples, sure. I can help you with ideas, bounce back and forth or whatever. And these people have to go on and spend their time making something for you. So I never ask makers to reserve a cap for me or whatever. If they send out a cap, that's a gift and that's great, you know. Like, I'm very, very thankful. But I actually enter sales, so like I'll buy it. Like, I'll insist I'll buy from them. I'll pay for the price, whatever it is. Some other times I just do it because I want to see other people get caps that match the set, right? Like, I did that for Dolce initially, and yeah, I just kind of never sat well with me. Ever since then, and just seeing it in overall, like the whole collab idea of collab keyboard, collab cable, collab desk mat, you name it, collab artisan, it never sat well with me. The idea of basically asking someone for a favor, they do that favor for you, you don't really do much for them, and I never feel like one should be entitled to it. And so I just kind of, like, actually for Blue Alert, I ended up feeling like I shouldn't even do it at all, which actually that was the case until pretty much this past week. I got a lot of DMs, sort of people like asking me, actually from makers and from enthusiasts, sort of like asking me, hey, like, are you guys gonna have like stuff going on for it? People ask me like, oh, is there a Hebe cap? Is there a maker that you're collabing with? Or is it cables, whatever, desk mats, right? And I was like, no, not really. I just thought of Blue Alert to be like a rerun of a colorway I like, and that's it. Like, it's just a key set. Like, that's what I can do for the community, and that's all, right? And it's a product, so it's like the vendor is running the vendor is running the show. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing jack shit, to be honest. And so yeah, people contact me and talk to a few people I know, and they're like, you know, don't feel bad, like, you're asking them for a favor, and you're giving them the right of refusal. So if they don't want to do it, they won't do it. If they don't want to send you something for you, like, that's fine, you know, they'll refuse to, and that's cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I ended up asking a bunch of makers, just kind of like hit them up and be like, hey, you know, I'm doing this thing, totally optional for you to do this, but if you're down, that'll be great. You can do it any time of the year. I don't care if it happens during the GB, 3 months after the GB, 1 year after the GB, I don't care. Do it whenever you want. If you feel inspired, sick, do it. So that's kind of why. And yeah, a lot of people ended up responding really positively, which is why I'm very, very thankful for it. But yeah, I have to say I was super, super reluctant to reach out to makers about collabs. Yeah. If you're buying a board you know you'll use for a long time, is getting 3 PCBs worth it, or is 2 generally enough? But like there, I would argue. Okay, I think you can divide that problem into 2 parts. Number one is the PCB a normal PCB that is replaceable by something out in the market? Like, is there third-party support for it? So, for example, if you buy like a 60%, there's like H60, like the Bush, like 60% compatible stuff with the JST port and everything, and a bunch of different PCB makers have made PCBs that suit that, or TKLs are the same. There's like third-party PCBs and whatnot. Is that the case for the board that you're buying? Like, is it a custom PCB that's only one PCB made for that board and that's it? That's gonna determine whether or not you might want to consider it. If it's the former, where you have PCB support from third parties in the market already, or to happen anyway, then I think one PCB is fine. There's a lot of kits out there that you have one PCB and it'll last you as long as it needs to, as long as you take care of it, as long as you put in the time to take care of it. Like, your exercise your care, you desolder carefully, whatever it is. If it's a solderable, if it's a hot swap, you make sure you don't rip off your hot swap sockets, right? That kind of stuff. And then if it's a proprietary PCB, then yeah, consider getting a backup just in case things break. You might static shock it, whatever. Then you consider getting a new PCB for it. It might be much harder to get once the buy is done. So yeah, consider having an extra. 3 PCBs personally feels like too much. Nowadays, for me, I have a lot of other boards that I use, so I know that I can always swap to a different board if something fails. If it's something I really like, I also know that I will end up doing whatever it takes to make it work. Whether it's commissioning someone to do like a custom PCB, or whether it might be to convince someone to work on something like this for support of third party. I can like get a project along the way to fix it. In those cases, like, I will just say, like, I'll just get the default PCB and that's good enough. But I think for most people who maybe like have 1 or 2 boards and you really want to keep this for a long time, yeah, having a spare is good. I think 3 might be a lot. It's costly though, because each PCB could be anywhere from $30 to $60, right? So yeah, consider that. Consider the cost. Like, if it's just gonna sit in your drawer forever and you never actually end up touching it, then you're actually just putting $60 in the bucket, right? So yeah. And yeah, there's board designers who use the same PCB or compatible ones from the market or out there. So there's many options for the same board. In those cases, consider not getting an extra, because you will be able to get an extra PCB from somewhere else. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that drifted a little. So let's go ahead and consider rating. I see. Wow, is this the Mr. Teha Types? Unbelievable. Oh, so he's streaming. I see Miss Apiary is streaming. And I think I see that's it for keyboards. I believe Marcia started earlier, and I know Nathan tends to go for long, so I think we're gonna go raid Marcia, and she can go raid Nathan if she wants to. So let's do that. Let's raid Marcia, and she can decide to raid Nathan if she desires. But let's go raid her. Alright, folks. I want to say thank you for joining in. Miyaga raid, Lightning raid. Bet Nathan won't be done with his build once you're about to finish your stream. Keck. Wait. Keck W. There's our raid message. Alright, folks. I'll see you guys later. Thank you again for stopping by. Thanks again for checking out the classic TKL. $89. Go to NovelKeys sometime in September. You'll see the updates through their product page and social media and whatnot. If you want to join our Discord server, there's !Discord, !Socials to join my Discord. Otherwise, blue alert coming from interest check to group buy to a NovelKeys near you, or regional proxy out there. But blue alert happening in September, so appreciate your support. But otherwise, I will see you guys next stream. Take it easy. Bye bye.